And then in verse 6, remember, wisdom has already prepared a lot of things that you don't have to pay for. She has prepared meat, she has slaughtered the meat, she has mixed the wine, she has furnished the tables, she has built the house, made it stable. Everything has been done. You don't have to do anything except one thing. Verse 6 shows us the cost. After she says, come and let us have communion, verse 6 now says, forsake foolishness and live. There's something you still have to give up. Even though you don't have to pay for this stuff, it is going to cost you something. Same way with salvation. Jesus paid the price. You don't have to pay the price. And even though it is free, it is still going to cost you something. It is going to cost you forsaking the current path that you're on. It's going to cost you repenting. It's going to cost you putting down the way you think, putting down your belief systems, putting down lies that you believed were true. Wisdom. Her maidens are going out telling people, come, wisdom wants to have a relationship with you. But in order for that to happen, you need to forsake foolishness. It's not compatible. Folly and wisdom are not compatible. Forsake foolishness and live, which means that your current path is already leading to death, but you just don't know. You need to forsake this path so that you can live and go in the way of understanding. Now, when I was studying this, I tried to imagine myself as one of the maidens going out, trying to preach, trying to invite people. You have to understand that you are going into a random society filled with people at different stages in their lives. You are going to encounter people who already have goals, who already have ambitions. They are already on a path. Imagine meeting someone who is about to become the CEO. They've spent 20 years grinding their way up, and you are like, you need to forsake this path. Imagine someone who has been in a relationship waiting for someone to propose for 5 years, and you're like, you need to forsake this path. So even though what wisdom is offering is free and is good, it's not as easy of a decision because you are encountering people who are already on a path that they believe is the right one. And so even though the offer can sound good, the cost of accepting that offer may look bigger than the benefit you'll receive from taking that offer. The people who will readily accept this message are those who the system has failed them, those who have been looking for an alternative for a while. They're like, everything I've tried, nothing is working. When they receive a message that, wisdom wants to have a relationship with you, she has made the food, she has mixed the wine, she has done this, they're like, that is what I've been looking for. Those ones will readily hear the message, believe the message, and call out. Also, when you Luke chapter 14, verse 16. So this story is actually sort of similar to a parable that Jesus gave in Luke 14, 16, the parable of the dinner. It says, then said he unto him, a certain man gave a great supper and invited men, and sent his servant at supper time to say to those who were invited, come, for all things are now ready. All things are now ready. Just like wisdom, everything is done. But they all with one accord began to make excuses. The first said to him, I have bought a piece of ground and I must go and see it. I ask you to have an excuse. So you see that the servants, they've met someone who is already on a path. I've just bought a piece of land and I must go and see. This good news that you're bringing, it sounds like a distraction. This is why, and I've said this here before, we cannot offer the good news to everybody. That's the problem with the church today, is that we are trying to give the good news to everybody. Jesus did not give the good news to everybody. He gave the good news to those who already knew the bad news. But there were some who didn't know the bad news. For those who didn't know the bad news, Jesus had to give them the bad news first before he would offer the good news. The Bible says, do not cast your pearls among swine. You can have something good, but the way you present it and who you present it to can make it look useless. How do you tell someone that they need a vaccine when they do not know that they are sick and they are dying? If someone does not know that they are sick and dying, and you're telling them, take the vaccine, they're like, what did I tell? Like, why are you trying to force yourself? If someone does not know, you cannot offer the good news first. You first need to let them know you have a virus. You have 6 months. When they know that, and you tell them, but guess what? I have a vaccine. They will readily accept it. So it feels like wisdom is when she has sent her maidens. You're going to see why I say this in the next verse. Because she says, do not go to scoffers. You've brought good news. And there's a great supper. But someone is saying, I have bought a piece of land. And I must go and see it. This piece of land is more important than what you're offering. Verse 19 says, and another said, I bought 5 yoke of oxen, and I'm going to test them. I ask you to have me excused. These things were more important than what wisdom was offering. And they did not argue. The servants did not argue with them. They allowed them to go their way. Still another said, I have married a wife, and therefore I cannot come. So that servant came and reported these things to his master. And the master of the house, being angry, said to his servant, go out quickly into the streets and lanes of the city and bring in here the poor and the maimed and the lame and the blind. Go and find people who will prioritize my offer. People who already know the bad news. Someone is poor. I'm not someone who has bought a house that I didn't even see. I bought a house I didn't even see. Now I want to go and see. Like you paid in advance. Like this guy knows that he's poor. I need help. Go to the maimed. This person knows that. Go to the lame. Go to the blind. I need help. Go to those who know. Go to those who are going to prioritize what I'm offering over what they are chasing. When I was studying this, I just thought of something. And like sometimes the disappointments we face in our lives are actually blessings in disguise. Can you imagine if this guy who had bought a house or bought a land and was about to go see it, what if he discovered that the land had been given to someone else? What if he discovered that he had been scammed? That disappointment would have unlocked an opportunity for him to hear what the servant was saying. What if the 5 week of oxen that he bought, he suddenly realized that they all died? He had just made an investment and it was gone. Would it have opened an opportunity for this man to hear the servant? That there's someone who is offering something. Who would offer disappointment like this? And so not every disappointment comes from the devil. Sometimes God allows these things to happen because if those things don't happen, we will not hear. Think of the disappointments that have happened in your life. There's a quote that I love. It says, life is lived forward, but can only be understood looking back. When you're going through certain situations, you don't understand why. But when you've gone through it and you're now looking back, you're like, oh my goodness, oh, that makes sense now. For me, if my business did not fail, I would not have been in the state of mind where I would have been ready to receive Christ. For some of you, think about your life. What made you receive Christ? If everything was working for you perfectly, everything you wanted, you had, why would you need him? How would you have justified the decision? So a lot of the times, the disappointments that we're complaining about are things that we will be rejoicing about years later. If you weren't sick, how would you call on him for healing? How would you even know that healing was available? It says, forsake foolishness. So, forsake foolishness and live and go in the way of understanding. Verse 7 now says, he who corrects a scoffer gets shame for himself. Now, everything I've said will make sense. And he who rebukes a wicked man only harms himself. Who is a scoffer? A scoffer is someone who is confidently ignorant. You know, there are people who are not just ignorant, they are confident in their ignorance. This is one of the most dangerous things. I believe it's Matthew 6:23. That's one of the most dangerous verses for me in the Bible. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Matthew 6:23, I believe it is. Yes. Jesus said, let's start from verse 22. He says, the lamp of the body is the eye. Therefore, your eye is good, your whole body will be full of light. Verse 23 says, but if your eye is bad, your whole body will be full of darkness. He then says, if therefore the light that is in you is darkness, how great is that darkness? It means there is a light there's a darkness that disguises itself as light. There's a form of ignorance that looks like truth. And I say it's one of the most dangerous verses because, man, how do you convince someone that the light you think you have is actually darkness? That's who a scoffer is. Someone who is so ignorant, they don't even realize. They are confident in it. They are wrong, but they are convinced that they're right. Why? Like, how do you get to this person? He's saying, he who corrects a scoffer gets shame. So if you are trying to correct such a person, you will not get repentance. You will get shame. They will disgrace you. These ones, they don't just sin. They mock truth and they belittle anyone who brings it. We are seeing it today with the Charlie Kirk thing. The people who opposed him, even in his death, are still speaking ignorantly. How do you reach those kinds of people? You leave them. There are some people who they can only learn through their experience. The only prayer we can pray for them is that they will learn the lesson quickly. There is no amount of convincing. Think about it. Even Jesus, when he was around, the Pharisees could not understand. They couldn't see it. Jesus did not force them. He said, don't worry, you will learn. These ones will make you look foolish for correcting them. Now, God isn't saying never to confront wrongdoing, but he's saying know who is correctable. Know who is correctable. And he who rebukes a wicked man only harms himself. So you're not sent to everybody. Now, verse 8 gives us something very interesting because this is how you know a wise person from a foolish person. It says, do not correct a scoffer lest he hate you. Rebuke a wise man and he will love you. Very powerful principle here. You can tell a wise person from a foolish person based on how they respond to correction, based on how they respond to feedback. Have you ever told someone something? It's like you've seen them make a mistake and you're trying to correct them and they get angry. I mean, it's possible that you could have corrected them in a loving way. It's possible. But let's even assume that you did all the right thing. You did it in love. You did not do it in a rash way. And they start hiding. Or when you corrected them, they got angry and they stopped speaking with you. That's the sign of a foolish person. It says, do not correct a scoffer lest he hates you. Rebuke a wise man and he will love you. Have you seen when you correct someone and they're like, thank you so much? When you rebuke a wise person, they will love you. That's when they'll begin to call you. They thank you. There's one of my friends, and you can just tell. You could just tell he was always going to be a great person. He was always going to be successful. I remember he came to my office, this was years ago, maybe 2013-ish. 2014. I think I was already dating my wife at the time. So we're looking at 2014. And he knew me when I was in the world. So we had met at a birthday, like a mutual friend's birthday party. And there must have been something I said that he was like, yo, this guy sounds different. I think he was complaining about his driver. And I was like, bro, like your driver knew all the things that you're expecting him to know right now. Do you think he would be your driver? And when I said that, he sort of paused, like, ooh, okay. And then we had some conversations, and he knew that, okay, this is not the Muiwa that I knew in the world. Like something has changed. So he took my number, and that day is like, man, thanks for the new perspective that you gave me. He didn't have to do that, but he messaged and was like, thanks for that. The next day, he came to my office. And obviously, because he knew that I had changed and everything, he was trying to see, like, is this genuine transformation? He couldn't believe it. So he came to my office and he was talking, and I told him, I'm getting married next year by God's grace. And he's like, oh, okay. So, you're getting married, you're a Christian. I hear that you're a believer now. So, are you trying to tell me that you and your wife or you and your girlfriend, you're not doing anything? He was trying to poke to see, is this guy really genuine? And I was like, oh no, we're not even going to kiss until our wedding day. And you could see his face. I can still see it today. He could not believe it. It felt like it was the first time he was hearing anybody say that kind of thing. He's like, you gotta be kidding me, bro. It's not possible. I said, nah, like we're going to honor God. We're not going to do anything. We're not going to kiss until our wedding day. And he was numb for like 5 minutes. He was just looking. You can tell he was processing something in his mind. It was like, no, it's not possible. No. And that day he left. He said, you know what, I'll see you later. The next day he called me again. I'm in the office. I need to, and he now came. He's like, how? Like, you're not even, it's not possible. And then I began to preach and I began to tell him about my story and everything. Guys, he ended up giving his life to Christ. He's one of my best friends today. Through that, when you rebuke a wise man, he will love you. When you rebuke a wise man, he will keep coming back. He will not stay away. It is why you never really know the test of your followership, even with this platform. You never really know who is for you until they are rebuked. Because anybody can stay loyal when things are right, when you're telling them the right things. Who is still going to stay when you rebuke them? Who is still going to stay when you say something that they don't? When you say something that they don't like? Even though they've liked 95% of what you've been saying, but 5% that you said that, it offended them. I'm leaving this place. I'm leaving this church. I'm leaving this community. So rebuke a wise man and he will love you. It says, give instruction to a wise man and he will be still wiser. It means that the more you teach the wise, the more they recognize how little they know and how much they need to know. A wise person never believes they've arrived. Oh, I know everything now. The more you correct the wise, the more they realize, oh my goodness, there's so much I don't know that I still need to know. And it keeps them humble. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this clip and you'd like to watch the entire Bible study session, make sure you click this link here. And if you've been blessed by this channel in any way you feel led to support, please consider clicking the link below. And for any amount you give, you get a free Bible study masterclass where I teach you how to unlock the 3 dimensions of the word. Literally, I'm going to be teaching you how to study the Bible in 3D. If you also feel led to support us on a monthly basis, consider becoming a member of the YouTube channel where you get some exclusive perks as well, like becoming a part of our monthly book club. Thanks again for watching, and God bless you. See you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.